Here we go.
All right, fellas, welcome to the CFM Roundtable for Daddy Leagues, hosted by yours truly. Thank you guys for joining us here today. We've got some great dudes with us today, and I cannot wait. We're talking Madden 18 to kind of pick up our conversation where we left off. Let me introduce everybody with us. We got Shopmaster. Shopmaster, tell everybody who you are and where they can find you.
All right, my name is Shopmaster. Been in the Madden community forever. You can find me on Twitter at Shopmaster and on YouTube at Shopmaster TV. Just love CFM. Wanted to be better. Wanted to get better, and that is my goal for going into Madden 18 and throughout the whole season. We just gotta get CFM better.
There you go. If you don't know who Shopmaster is, you need to go ahead and check your pulse because you need to get with the program and follow Shop on Twitter and on YouTube. And speaking of, if you don't know my next guest, then you really need to check yourself. We've got Matt from League Crawler. I love what he is doing. Matt, introduce yourself. Tell people where they can find you.
Hey guys, this is Matt from League Crawler. You can find me on Twitter at League Crawler. You can find me online at leaguecrawler.com. And basically what our website does is we try to spotlight great leagues and what they're doing, and also try to give people an opportunity to find those leagues, and we help promote them on Twitter and on our site. And really the goal is just connecting great leagues with great people and giving people an opportunity to find great leagues and great people for their leagues. So, former commissioner, there wasn't a tool like this that existed when I was a commish, and so I decided to build it, and it's been a work in progress ever since, and we're growing. So just trying to help the whole community get better.
I think the community as a whole would agree that Daddy Leagues has become a staple. If you're going to run a CFM, that you need to have a Daddy Leagues. I feel the exact same way about League Crawler. If you're going to have a CFM, you need to be on there. You need to get your owners on there. You need to be active. You need to be using it. Go check out League Crawler right now if you haven't done so. And then last, but certainly not least, the steady Eddie of the group, my friend Logan. Logan, introduce yourself and tell people where they can find you. Mr. Anti-social media, but tell people where they can find your information.
Hey, listen, I'm Least, man. Of everyone in this panel, I am definitely Least, but I'm honored to be here. You can find Gridiron Gamers at DaddyLeagues/GIG17. We update it every year, so next year will be 18. Yeah, I got to get on that Twitter bandwagon, I know, but the one thing I do use is League Crawler, and I got to say the best quality piece about that website I found is that you get rid of bad owners. Like, you have great information about bad owners, and it's not just like, oh, you shouldn't have this guy, you shouldn't have. It's detailed. It's exactly why. You have a rating system. It's very handy. So for any commissioners like me that are looking for good users and feedback, that's the place to go.
And I am your host, Nate. I am the commissioner of the OMFL. We, as far as I know, are the longest ever online nonstop league since 2001 PC days. We've been going nonstop since then. Other commissioners have had it, have kind of ducked in and out as life happens over 16 years, but I'm lucky enough to be the commissioner right now. You can find me on Twitter is where I'm most active for Madden stuff at GrownFolksOC. GrowFolksOC.com is our website, and of course we have a Daddy Leagues page and all that other fun stuff. And it truly is an honor anytime anybody asks me to do anything for them. So I really enjoy doing stuff for League Crawlers, stuff for Daddy Leagues, and it is an absolute honor to have all three of these guys with me today. But no one wants to hear me jiggle your balls for the next 30 minutes, so let's just hop right on into it. Shop, let's start with you. You went to EA Plus Access, whatever the hell they call that conference. Tell us about overall thoughts. What do you think about it? What blew you away? Catch us up.
Yeah, so I attended EA Play, what was it, a couple weeks ago now. But just to catch everybody up, I think the one thing that you're going to notice off the bat is the gameplay is so much different than Madden 17. Now, mind you, I hadn't played any Madden 18 until I got to EA Play. So I was very excited, very interested in to see what changed. And overall, it was gameplay. Gameplay, probably the biggest jump in the last couple of years that I've seen with gameplay, and just the way that the zones are played now. The target passing thing is ridiculous. I don't even know how many people are actually going to use it unless they really get into it and lab with it. But I thought the game looked good and it played very, very well.
Now, are you giving this because of the new engine, or is it because of other improvements that they've made? What has made this big, large jump?
No, I don't think it's the Frostbite engine at all. I mean, the Frostbite engine makes the smoke and the atmosphere, and especially the stadium and outside the stadium, look good. But no, I point to the devs really getting in there and fixing a lot of legacy issues and really digging in there and fixing the things that were broken and just improving the play. The offensive line, you can actually see reach tackles and it looks really good once you get your hands on it.
Matt, what are you seeing from Madden 18 that kind of is catching your attention that you really are interested in getting your hands on? Have you touched the game yet?
No. I do have a question for Shop, though. I wanted to follow up with him. What do you mentioned the developers fixing legacy issues. I think that's probably the thing that I'm the most excited about. For those of us in the community that have been around this game for a long enough period of time to make us sound and look really old, right?
Right.
But it seems like they're actually focused on fixing legacy issues, and they care about what the community wants now. At least this group of people does, way more than the people in the past. So you mentioned it there, but I just wanted to see if you agree with that.
No, I do agree with that. I mean, look, especially in this day and age with social media, they make themselves, especially Clint and Rex, make themselves very out in the open, very upfront.
Yeah.
So, and I dedicate this to more of a larger EA thing. EA now is focused on their players, and it's a player-first company now. That has been expressed to me through all the little different meetings I've had with EA. They really care about what the players want and what the players think, and so I think that is what's being resonated throughout the whole company, and it shows in Rex and Clint and the other devs' interest in getting rid of some of the things that we hate about Madden.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to divert from your question.
No,
dude.
you're good.
I haven't played it yet.
Now, this is what I want. I was just trying to get the conversation started, and now you guys take it off and let's go with it. Here's my question.
That's the most exciting thing for me, though. Sorry.
No, I just want to ask about player movement. That's, I think, what I was most excited about with the new engine. Being a FIFA fan and having a little bit of a FIFA team in our community, it's like FIFA is just one of those games that just feels, good when you get it in your hand. The players just, I don't know how exactly to explain. It just feels like it's real, like they're running realistically. They're, not everybody's super fast. It just feels like it flows the right way. Playing a game of Madden just last night. I'm a huge Madden fan. I am not going to be one of these guys that gets on Twitter and rants and raves about every damn thing that you don't like about the game and never says anything about what you do like. I'm a massive fan of every game that they always come out with. And so, but playing last night, we all know those complaints. Swing pass, guy catches it and just keeps running for 5 yards out of bounds. Or you try to cut it up the middle and you hit your offensive lineman and for whatever reason you can't move anymore and you're just stuck for a 2-yard loss. So did it feel like those things improved with the new engine, or maybe the development, or players moving more realistic? Does it just feel better?
So let me answer this real quick. Yes, it just feels better. One of the things you'll notice right away are the steerable rat catches, especially when you just talked about it, when you throw out the flat and the guy his momentum takes him out of bounds. He just goes out of bounds. With the steerable rack catch, you can catch it and steer your guy up the field, and it looks so good and it's smooth, and you'll see way less. Like, it's a difference maker. It's a difference maker. I just remember in 17, I would purposely not guard the flats because, especially on the short side of the field, because I'm like, okay, if the running back goes out there, he's going to go out of bounds. So I'm not even worried about that. Now, with the steerable rack catch, you can catch it and steer up the field for 7 yards if you're not guarding it. So you'll notice that right away.
Here's a follow-up with that. So I know that you guys have had to have seen this a couple of times. It doesn't happen super often, but calling a screen or maybe sometimes even a flat, something like that out of the backfield, I'll find that sometimes the running back will just, for whatever reason, stop and then catch the ball and then not move. And then they've got 2 or 3 seconds to catch up with you. And then by the time your player moves, you're not even given a big gain, even though your guy caught the ball and had a couple of yards. Did you do any kind of play like that? Is that flowing just like those flat routes where you can turn that up? Is that kind of thing fixed to where you can catch the ball and smoothly transition upfield?
For me, it was. I didn't do a lot of screens, but the ones that I did do, they looked really good. I think I was trying to do target passing with screens, which is kind of different too. Like with the new target passing, you can call a screen and actually, sort of throw it past the running back and make them go get it, which adds just a new element to screen game. But I didn't see I know exactly what you're talking about, where you throw a screen, your running back goes out, but he stops, and then he gets it, and then, like you said, he just stops, and by that
like
time,
that
guys are on.
Stutter step or whatever. Logan, I know that you've been keeping up with everything. I know you got a ton of questions. What's kind of burning on your brain that you want to pick from him?
Well, I just want to hit up shop, and guys like CFM Ball Critic and Smitty and these guys, they talk about the game, they played the game, but everyone always says, oh, they're just a mouthpiece, or oh, they're just, they get paid by EA. I want to step up for shop here. I believe, you can correct me if you're wrong, you do not get paid by EA, correct? You get flown out. Excuse me, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. I didn't get paid by EA. I got flown out by EA to participate in EA play, but they didn't give me money to say there's no money involved where they're like, oh, here's money to come out here. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because I know that's true, but some of these guys might be listening, might not go on the webs of YouTube and know really what the Game Changer community is all about. These guys get flown out, they get a nice hotel, they get some access, but it's not the mob. They're not getting paid under the table to say nice things. In fact, Rex, if you can also correct me you've obviously talked to the man. He doesn't like it when you sugarcoat things and kind of, he likes to keep it real. And I think, to go into my question, I think that's the biggest improvement in Madden. EA before was kind of a company that was looking for good compliments. Now they're going out and earning those things. And, I was mad as well when they weren't doing CFM type things. And then I started to think about it. If you fix legacy issues, things that have been going on for a long time, gameplay-wise, you're fixing the game, which is going to help your CFM, So I feel like that's really important. I was also mad because they're using resources, taking away for story mode, things like that. But if they fix the gameplay, they make CFM more enjoyable, if you think about it that way.
Yeah, for me, it's always, as much as I love franchise, and I do mean I love franchise mode, gameplay is always first, because gameplay is in every mode. If your gameplay is not right, it doesn't matter what mode you play. You can play MUT, you can play whatever. You're not gonna feel good. But if the gameplay is good, it makes every mode more enjoyable.
Yeah,
and
and I just kind of go ahead, Logan.
I just want to say, like, the story mode might not be for you. It might not be for Nate. But listen, it might get people to play the game that never played the game, and they might end up being sim guys. I don't particularly like the mode per se. Like, I don't think I'll spend a lot of time on it, but I do think there'll be some members that come into my league because they played that mode, because they bought it. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's always a good thing, just in general, to get more bang for your buck, and they're adding something. Whether you use it or not is completely up to you. I'll never be a MUT guy, but it's there, and if guys buy the game just for that, like, you get more bang for your buck. There's more there. The game offers more. It's a wider range, and I just kind of want to speak to. That's the reason I'm really interested in doing what I'm doing here with all of you guys. I know that all of you kind of are doing your own thing also for the CFM community, but I'm just looking to gather around the really good guys, because at the end of the day, I think that there are some super great people that are the leaders of the CFM movement that is part of the game. And I want to make sure that I'm kind of helping create a place where those people have a voice along with their voices that they already have. I mean, Shop is Shop, and man, everybody knows who he is. And all of you guys have your own really big thing that you do. I just think it's a great place to put us all together. I could care less what people say or what people think. This is in my opinion, one of the best modes, the best mode, and we got some of the best people that play this and want to be a voice for this. So that's kind of my little caveat to the reason we're doing all this. What are some of the things that you kind of felt when you played the game, or that you've seen, or that you heard, that maybe a lot of people aren't talking about, that might be one of those under the radar, really, gems that come out of Madden 18?
Coaching adjustments. Please speak about that, please.
That was going to be mine is coach adjustments. I mean, I wrote a whole article on the one feature that no one is talking about, and I think it's a big time feature, especially for those guys who want more control of the other 10 guys on the field that they can't control themselves. So again, coach adjustments, they just allow you to, I don't see a lot of people doing them sort of like at the beginning of the game, but near the end of the game when things get tight and you need the ball or you need to protect the ball, that's when you're gonna see coaching adjustments done, and that's the correct way to do them. For those who don't know what coaching adjustments are, they are adjustments that you can make before you select your call. So they're in the play calling screen, and they have offensive coaching adjustments and defensive coaching adjustments. And so, for instance, one of the offensive coaching adjustments is ball carrier. And you can set whether you want your ball carrier to be conservative or aggressive, or to stay balanced. And if you set him to conservative, he protects the ball, which decreases the fumble chances, but it also decreases the number of break tackles you get. If you set your ball carrier to aggressive, he has a higher chance of triggering broken tackles, but it's also an increase in fumble chances. And again, they have a number of them for blocking, deep pass catching, intermediate pass catching on defense. You can actually toggle the auto flip on and off without having to press pause and do it in your settings. They have ball in the air defense coach adjustments. And of course, the defensive matchups where you can match your DBs based on overall speed, height, route running. They also have option defense coaching adjustments, pass rush, strip ball, and tackling.
I like the DB matchup and the auto flip on and off where you don't have to set that. Those are some really good adjustments. Here's another question I got from you that I want to hear from Matt. I just lost it. Where'd it go? Come on, question. You got to come back to me. Oh, that's what I was going to ask. So this year, one of the things that I really enjoyed about Madden 17 is they finally started to give commissioners more control over their CFM with all the different settings in the back end, the sliders, of course, all those the XP sliders and all that different stuff that just gave us more control. I guess if I had any little complaint about Madden over the years is they tend to give and then quickly take away in following Maddens for whatever reason. Is all of that control still in there? Has it grown? Has it shrunk? Is it the same?
You asking me?
I'm asking Shop. I'm asking anybody who knows.
It sounds like the same, right, Shop? I mean, that's I don't think we've heard any new features in terms of commish controls.
No, I think you'll still be able to adjust the XP sliders. I don't think anything that was in last year is taken out of this year. So
Thank God.
I don't think you have to worry about that. Would I like to see more commish controls? Yes, of course I would.
Yeah, and the thing is, there really isn't a whole lot that you really need, to be honest with you, that are not in there. I mean, not to take it to the next level. I mean, there's only really a few, but we'll see. I mean, it's nice that over all these years, they finally give you, some of the controls that they did. So I feel like it's at least a step in the right direction.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because you guys are commissioners. Would you want commissioner controls that are for the whole league? For instance, like ball hawk and all of those individual things. Would you like to turn those off for the whole league?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
It would be nice to put everyone on the same page about everything. Even like little things kind of got past me for a little bit this Madden, like the ball carrier where it can be full assist or the computer's making moves, or semi-assist where it kind of chooses the best move or completely off, like that kind of thing. Like that should be a full league setting. Like I just set that for everybody. We're all on the same page. We're all playing with the exact same type of thing.
Right.
Here's another easy thing. I say easy. I think it's easy because, again, I'm from the PC days when this all started. I think it would be a game changer if you could export your CFM team and play with them online against like somebody not in a CFM game. So just connecting online. So Logan could export his team. I could export my team. We could hook up and play our two teams against each other as a little scrimmage, as a little practice. Like that to me would be a complete game changer if that were ever an opportunity. Like we used to be able to do that back in the PC days. That would just be an awesome thing to have. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but it would be an awesome thing.
Well, I know it's something that we've talked about and something that, I said the community would love to have, because a lot of people have come up to me and asked me, "Oh, can we get that?" So, believe me, they know about it. I mean,
It's probably a spacing issue, correct, Shop? Like they can only put so much data on a disk and things like that. That's probably it.
I used to think that, but to me, they just put story mode in. So and believe me, story mode I know has to take up a lot of space.
True.
But Shop is.
I would have said that for PS2 and maybe PS3, last gen, but I'm not sure about that this year, that they can only fit so much on a disc.
How much of that is on the disc versus how much is going to have to be downloaded after you boot up the game the first time? That's my question. I think that's where they might have a lot of that data. I'm not defending them. I mean, I agree. It's like you see a story mode thing like that come in, and you're like, wait a minute, you're trying to tell me that we can't reset rosters, but you can put story mode in? Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
And story mode is good. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to talk about it, but I had a chance to play it, and man, I hope they use some of the mini drills in story mode for CFM stuff. I've already, sort of told them what I think would fit in CFM as far as what they have in the story mode.
But
Yeah, I think
to
I'm like
finish up this other, well, I just wanted to finish up the other conversation. Then we can let's talk about story mode. That's fine with me. And that was that, like, if you play the show, you can upload your road to the show to a cloud franchise. Like, if you could just do something like that with your CFM team, and then when you play, you can download from the cloud. I don't know. I just think that there are a lot of smart people that could figure that one little add in. So, Logan, let's talk about the new story mode.
Well, I think me and you agree on a lot of things. As long as the game is still relatively cheap or the same price as it was last year, I don't really see the point in complaining about the story mode, even if you're not going to play it a whole bunch. Because if the game was $99 and you had to buy it, for $99 and there was no other entry fee, okay, I can understand why you might be upset. Like, hey, they didn't even fix CFM. Why am I paying $99 for a story mode? But it's an add-on. It's literally free content in that sense. You can play it or not play it.
Can we not put out into the universe a $99 Madden game, please? I don't want to put that out anywhere in the universe where anyone can hear that at EA. Please strike that from your records.
Yeah, I think the other notion is, though, that some people are upset that resources were spent
That's
to do a story mode. Not really that there's a story mode out there, but they feel, especially in the CFM community, that resources were spent doing the story mode instead of making CFM better.
Well, Shop, you have an inside track. You tell us. Do you believe that?
I believe it to an extent. My thing is the guys that I know that worked on story mode never worked on franchise.
Exactly.
So I kind of the one thing I will say though is that the guy who worked on franchise is working on NBA Live 18's franchise, and that's really where the resource went to. That's really where the resource went. So John White, who used to be the man when it came to Madden CFM, went over to NBA Live 18 and has been working on their franchise. And what Rex told me is that they're trying to align the two franchises up so that when they do one for one franchise, it can be easily be done for the next franchise. So they're really trying to get NBA Live 18's franchise up to par with Madden CFM so that they can be intertwined, or not intertwined, but they can go back and forth and not have to do a whole bunch to it. So that's really, I think, where the resources went. Not really to story mode, but to NBA Live 18.
Here's a question I haven't heard anybody ask in a while. What do you all three think? Do you ever think we'll get cross-platform play?
No, but that's not EA.
No, I know that's not EA. But I'm just thinking, do you ever think
so.
that thing will be a reality?
No.
No.
Yeah, this is Matt. I don't think so. And the only reason I say that is because I think by the time, let's say that everybody started focusing on, gameplay like that across different systems, right? By the time I think that they finished it and really made it cross-compatible, you'll start seeing next gen, whatever the next gen is, PS5 type stuff come out. So I think that the hardware probably in some cases is just as hard. I don't know. That's maybe a little less technical than it should be. It might be easier than that, but I don't think so.
I think it's more of a greed thing, to be honest. I think it's more of a competition thing. It might be great for the gamers, but I don't think it would be great for the business. And we got to remember that video games is still a business at the end of the day.
Business.
So, Shep, I know you were I watched some of your videos, you were initially mad that they didn't allocate enough attention to CFM. But I think with coaching adjustments, if you really learn how to use those things, you can become a Bill Belichick. You can become a better coach. And I think we're going to see a skill gap between the people who know how to use things like target passing and coaching adjustments. And some of these things, just to put a nice little bow on it, like, we wish we had more commissioner control. Like in my league, we accidentally double advanced. We had two guys try to advance the playoffs, and we actually advanced an extra round, and there was nothing we could do. If there was something where you could go back and reset games, that would be wonderful. I don't think that's happening. I got to be happy with what we got. And like you said, they fixed a lot of legacy issues. And if those legacy issues basically make the gameplay better, I think it's a win-win. But do you think things like coaching adjustments are really going to show a skill gap?
Me personally, no, I don't think coaching adjustments will create a skill gap. Just because it may create. I don't know. I don't feel coaching adjustments takes skill. It just takes you toggling something on and off and knowing when to do it and when to back off of it. And it's still, some of the stuff is still random. Just because you got the strip ball on aggressive doesn't mean that you're going to strip the ball.
Yeah.
It just means that the AI defenders are going to strip the ball for you. That's the other thing, is that it doesn't affect the person that you're controlling more than it affects the other 10 guys on the field. And as far as me being sort of disappointed with how CFM has panned out this year, I kind of got that feeling as we started going throughout the year and I hadn't been invited to see CFM at all. I kind of figured that there was nothing going on with CFM this year. And I had talked to John, and I knew he had been working. I had actually got invited down to an NBA Live 18 community day and talked with John as he was working on NBA Live 18, and that sort of gave me another indication that CFM wasn't being worked on as much. So, and then the notion of, and that's the other thing, the notion of coaching adjustments being a CFM feature, like, I don't like that either, because I've heard Rex say that, like, oh, well, for the CFM guys, we put in coach adjustments. Yeah. And I'm just like, that's a gameplay feature. Like, in every mode got that. So I also feel like, you know, EA is trying to, they're trying to say, hey, we worked on some CFM stuff, which they've done. They put in the draft board, they tuned regression. There's now off-ball injuries, but that's pretty much it.
God.
That's pretty much it. And again, I mean, we could talk about the draft board, but in my eyes, I don't feel like it's a true draft board. I mean, let's
go there. I know the other guys may have some questions, and we can keep on. And we've got another 10 minutes or so here. Talk about the draft board. You've mentioned it a couple of times, so evidently this thing's burning a hole in your pocket. Give us what you think about it.
It is. I just don't think it's the draft board that everybody is going to be happy with. I mean, it's a draft board. You're able to put guys on your draft board, and if you don't make the draft, the computer will select according to the people on your. The problem is there's no logic behind it. So if you have two running backs, let's say you really need a running back, you know a running back's going to go high. You have the 5th pick. And you say, okay, you know what? I want this guy. And let's say that guy drops down to you. You pick him up. Well, if you got a running back as your second pick and your turn comes back around again, guess what? You're getting that running back too. So, to me, this is more like a watch list where the computer just goes by what your watch list is. Yep. So, I mean,
and that seems like an easy fix. I'm not a developer, but that shouldn't be that big of a thing that they shouldn't have been able to fix that.
But again, it might be due to just not enough resources, sent CFM's way. And this is a way that they were able to, get something in, I won't say half done because I haven't seen it yet. But if there's no logic in it, to me, it's half done.
How many players can you set? Do you know?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen it. That's actually a good question. How many players can you put on your draft board? Mm-hmm. I would venture to say you could probably put as many as you want. But again, I don't know if you really want to do that. Because I feel like if you don't put anybody on your draft board, the computer uses logic to figure out what you have, what you don't
Right.
have, what you need. But for some reason, if you have people on your draft board, there's no logic.
Gonna go for that.
And Rex's answer to that was, well, we don't want to tell you what you want and what you don't want. Okay. Okay.
But it does that if you don't show up at the draft.
Yeah. Right. If you don't show up to the draft, it will pick people from your draft board.
So do you think it's an improvement at all? Because some people in my league are really excited about it, and I'm still thinking like, well, you're still going to be mad by the end of the day, because if you have 3 quarterbacks on your draft board and they draft all 3, you know how commissioners are. We always have to take the brunt of that anger, and I think people are still going to be. I mean, it's a good feature, I guess. It's a start, but it feels like if you're going to start something like that, you got to finish it. And I don't know how much it's going to help.
I feel you. I think they'll be excited initially when they see it, and that they'll be able to set it. But we're gonna see after leagues go through that first year, and people complain about they had these guys on their draft board, and I don't know why why the computer did this. We'll see. But what I do like is that Rex and the other developers are very open. They want to hear our feedback. They want to know what's working, what's not working. We'll see. We'll see. I just hope they continue to work on CFM throughout the year.
If I may, this is a question for everyone in the room. Now, they've mentioned sliders, sim sliders, competitive sliders. Obviously, Shop has played the game, so he might be able to speak on more of a technical perspective. But I've heard a lot of competitive people mention that they like a sim, a diversity, dropping some passes. Problem mentioned it. Some other guys have mentioned it. Do you think that these sliders, these different play styles, I guess, are going to bring the community together, maybe through Twitter, through some of these other social media avenues, and realize that, hey, you know what? You might play different, but we have more similarities than differences. I think that's a good thing. If anyone wants to speak on that.
Yeah, I'll just, my 2 cents is I don't get the, there just seems to be, look, it's the internet, right? It's 2017. It's like the internet is made for really angry people for whatever reason. I just don't understand like this great divide. I got to be honest. I want to have a voice. Like, I want to help Shop. I want to help Matt. I want to help Logan. Like, I want to be a part of the CFM community. Again, I'm the old timer that's been doing this since 2001. I'm all in this community. But I can't get into these long freaking 90 reply Twitter debates about the 3 modes and Mutt's getting this and competitive guys are crap and league guys are crap. Like, I can't get into all that. Like, pick a mode that's for you. If it ain't for you, then don't play them. Who cares what other leagues play? Like, if Logan's league wants to play competitive mode, then that's great. Like, we are all different. I've had this conversation with owners. I don't go around saying my community is the best. You will never see me use that word because I don't believe that exists. I think anybody who uses the word best is like, I just think it's an improper use of the word. Every league is completely different. Every league offers something that's different than other leagues, and people have to find the right fit for them. And that's how I view these sliders. Like, you just got to find what fits for the game style that you want in your community. And you're only going to have 32 guys in your community or in your league, and find something that fits for those 32 and go for it with that. That's just kind of my thoughts. I'll let you guys chime in. Radio silence.
All right. Okay. I'll chime in. So I think it will. I don't know. The one thing I will say is that they're going to be listening. And they're going to say, you know what, whatever style you play with, if the consensus agrees that there's too many drops in simulation mode and it needs to be less, then we can tune it. I mean, that's what they set this up for. They set it up so that they can tune it based on the different styles. Competitive guys, see, I know some competitive guys like drop balls, but when I say competitive guys, you got to think of the guys who are playing for money at the national, on the national stage. They're not going to like the drop balls on the national stage. Like, it's all good when you're playing ranked online games and you drop a pass, but then when you drop a wide open pass and it's $100,000 on the line, then that's when people have problems. So I like the fact. Here's the funny thing, and this is what I've always said. I like the fact that they've broken it up. I hate the fact that it took the competitive community to make this happen. I think a simulation guys. I wouldn't even call myself a simulation guy. I'm just a competitor. But sim guys have been asking for this for a long time. They've been asking for, we need something that's more, that we can, that's not as, I guess, I won't say arcadey, but they've been asking for drop passes, overthrows, and stuff for a long time. So I like it. Do I think it's going to bring both simulation and competitive guys together? Not necessarily. I think this, it is what it is. I have love for both sides. Know people from both sides, but I don't think it's gonna be a kumbaya moment to say, oh, we really didn't need this. We should all be playing one style.
Now, to put you two on the spot here, I don't mean to, but I think it's necessary. For these tournament players and these competitive players, they have a platform. They meet up in, I don't know, what, Las Vegas or Los Angeles. Sure. And they get the national TV audience on them. And they're collaborating in a way. I mean, they're competing, but they're meeting up. They're talking. Sure. They're creating a bond. And Nate knows this. A lot of CFMs are really competitive. Don't steal my guys. We play different than you. We do this different than you. Screw you. I want your best guys. And we don't have a voice. So is it going to take guys like you, Shop, like Sim Off-Ball Critic, these big audience YouTube channels maybe, to say, guys, the CFM movement needs a meetup place. We need a common ground, like literally to meet, to do these podcasts, to do these things and say, we're more alike than we are different.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I know that Shop has like this really big voice and is doing some amazing stuff. And I know what Logan's doing. I know, there are all these, the Madden Bomber League, DaddyLeagues, League Crawl, like there are all these people that are doing really great stuff, but rarely do we ever try to come together and do something together. And that's kind of the whole concept of this, to maybe spurn us off into that idea, Logan, to hit what you're talking about and find that platform where we're all together. Like, I'd love to do one of these with you and Shop and Madden Bomber League and League Crawl and everybody together, and like have Rex or somebody on here and all of us ask him questions together instead of Rex trying to do 10 interviews or 10 different leagues and 10 different videos out there. Let's just get us all in one bucket and ask him questions ourselves.
Would a sim tournament help, Shop, you think, in your opinion, since you saw some of these competitive guys and sim guys at EA Play? Would a sim tournament help us, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think a sim tournament would help. Just getting everybody together would help. And maybe it takes, I don't even want to call it a sim tournament, just a CFM tournament. Just get guys from, different leagues to come together and compete, and you can, everybody from that league can get behind that one person. Maybe you just pick all the Super Bowl winners and put them in the brackets, or pick the top 2 guys from every league, put them into a bracket. I think we can do it. I mean, wasn't there already one? Didn't we already have one? I thought League Crawler had one.
Yeah, I think Matt just joined us again. He got booted or whatever. Matt, we were just talking about doing a CFM tournament. I know that you tried to get something going like that. Logan's question was, do you think doing a tournament like that would give CFM guys, sim guys, whatever dumb label we want to put on it, a platform to really have a voice in the community?
Yeah, I think so. We've done 3 tournaments. The first time we did we did one bracket PS4. I think we had 2 guys from 16 leagues, so we had 32 people join. The second time we did 2 brackets. We did a PS4 and an Xbox, and then this most recent one we did just a PS4, and we ended up having 70 players from whatever 70 divided by 2 is, 2 people from each league. So 34, whatever that is, 35 leagues join and play, and it was awesome. So I think that the appetite for it definitely exists. And I mean, I opened it up. I was trying to get 32 leagues, 16 leagues to play 2 people each. And overnight, I had more than that, and had to open it up to more players. So, and I had a couple of different commissioners kind of weigh in on the rules ahead of time. So it was kind of a community-based, rule system. So, and it was CFM, sim style rules. I know that definition varies across the board, but it was agreed upon by everybody, and we still had people bursting at the seams, trying to get into this thing. So the answer is yes. I think that the appetite for it exists, but it's there's a taintedness a little bit on the CFM community a little bit, because I don't think the competitive guys complain like the sim guys do, because there's not much to complain about when you're just kind of playing however you feel like it, and I think that's why you see a little bit of reluctance, in the broader spectrum, to try to advocate for more sim style tournaments, because people don't want to walk into that headache the way the commissioners have to all the time. But I think that my tournament has proven that you can get people on the same page, maybe not broad scale just yet, but at least for now, it's we've proven it can happen for sure.
All right, so we got about 4 minutes here, 3 minutes or so, and then we'll put a little bow on it, and I'll let you guys get off to your Saturday. Again, thank you so much for doing this. I know you guys are all super busy and have lots of stuff going on. We'll do another one in 2 or 3 weeks if you guys want to do it. If this kind of loses steam, or if it keeps on, I'd love to keep on doing it, and even throughout Madden 18. I think it's a good platform for us just to get together and talk about what updates are out or what we'd like to see, just something to put our voice out there. My last question, and then we'll just open this up the last couple of minutes to let you guys get in your final thoughts before we put a bow on it, would be, and again, if this is, I'm just thinking out loud with you guys, if this isn't something that would work, or even if we think we could even get him on here, but I just think it would be a neat experience to have all of you on, get other leagues in here. I do blast this out to tons of leagues and give the offer and just let guys decide if they want to tap in or tag out. But get Madden Bomber League, get Sim League, all these leagues that are out there, get them in here, get Rex in here, or get one of the developers in here, and just do a 30-minute interview with him. Ask him the questions, tell him the concerns, the things that we're looking forward to, the places where they're doing things really, really well that we want to keep in the game. Would you guys be up to something like that? Do we like to just keep it one-offs like what other leagues do, where they just get these one-off interviews?
I think if he's up for it, I think it's great, and I think you've got a better opportunity to get him than anybody that was developing for Madden in the past. So, yeah. I mean, I remember Ian Cummings used to do a blog where he would make fun of the people in the sim community when they would complain about stuff. So, I mean, I think you'll have a better chance of getting Rex or Clint than anybody in the past, and it's just really a matter of schedule, I think, for those guys, but I think they'd be up for it. I don't know if they want to get bombarded with like 40 different people, though, so they may have to be somewhat limited. Yeah,
maybe we just pick, we can put our heads together and pick 5 or 6 guys that we feel really good about, guys that, have been doing this for a while and that are out there. I don't know, it's just an idea.
My advice. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think it's a good idea. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, my advice, Nate, if you're going to reach out to a guy like Rex, just act like you've been there before. We can't.
Yeah, sure.
If we want to act like we're so important, we got to the presentation's got to be there. We got to believe it. And if we get to a point where we actually feel like we can make a difference, then we got to go for guys like Rex. We got to reach higher to that level. Otherwise, what are we really doing? I mean, that's why I mentioned things like tournaments and things like gatherings. We have to get together and do this as a community. That's really important. And I think that's a good goal. I mean, whether it happens or not, I mean, it's sort of irrelevant. I mean, as long as we're shooting for something and there's a goal at the end of the tunnel, that's important to me.
Hell, Shop, I mean, I'm even open. You have much better production than I do while I'm still trying to find better options for my production. Like I'd be fine if you want to put something like that together and just invite who you want to invite. I just think it would be a great place to hear a lot of voices and really get something out there. So closing thoughts, the last couple of minutes, what are you guys thinking? Are you more excited after getting your hand on the game, Shop? Less excited? Are we still anticipating some things? What are you guys' final thoughts?
My final thoughts is that I'm more excited about Madden 18 just because of the gameplay improvements alone. I think it makes a big difference, and like I was saying, it doesn't matter what mode you're playing in, it makes a big difference. And so I'm excited to get my hands on it. I'm excited to, sort of steer this CFM movement along through the season. And I got some plans. So just make sure you keep it locked with me. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Shopmaster. Hashtag CFM Movement in all of your stuff, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, your Twitch streams. Hashtag it CFM Movement for me because they actually do. I had somebody from EA actually tell me that they did because I started the hashtag CFM Movement, they started doing all the analytics for it and seeing okay, how many people are using this and what are they saying and what are they doing? So it makes a difference. So I just implore everybody to do that.
Hey, I got one final question, and then I want to hear Logan and Matt's final thoughts. I'm sorry, this just popped in my head as you were talking. Any talk at all about this really crappy app? Like, I don't complain a lot of stuff about EA. I'm not one of the complainers, but this app is complete trash. Any talk about that thing?
So they won't really reveal anything for the app. I'm kind of hopeful though. That's the one thing. For some reason, I'm kind of hopeful about the app, but they really haven't said anything. So that's all I can say.
Just some way for us to continue to have Daddy Leagues or something like that. Like I don't know, it's a key thing in my community. All right, Logan, Matt, final thoughts. What are you thinking?
Well, I'll go first. I think this is really productive. I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited for the game. Like I said a couple of times, I think it's I think we're in a good spot in terms of who's running the cycle and who's in charge. And I think like Shop said, I think it's pretty cool that they're actually listening these days. So I'm excited for it. I realize that it's a game, so it's going to have flaws. It's going to have things. I like the fact that they're adding stuff in and fixing stuff that are legacy issues instead of just removing stuff and recycling them kind of the way they used to. So I'm pretty excited. I think it's going in the right direction, and I thought 17 was really good. I know it's going to have issues. 18 is going to have issues, but I thought 17 was really good. 16 and 17 both, to be honest with you. So I'm excited, man. I think it's cool, and I like that the community is coming together now more than ever. So I'll say the word excited again because that's what I am. I think it's pretty cool.
01 and 02 will always have a special place in my heart. I thought those games were pretty great, but I'm with you, Matt. I think 17's probably my all-time favorite. It is a great game. Logan, final thoughts.
Yeah, I thought it was the least important person on the show, so it only made sense if I went last. But
not even close.
No, I'm just playing. The final thought I would have is a lot of people are upset because we don't actually have gameplay, or we don't have a CFM type trailer or real definitive. I kind of like it. So then guys like, you're going to have to go to YouTube. You're going to have to look for this, this good gameplay. You're going to have to, follow guys like Shop and stuff like that. I think it makes you more excited. I think sometimes these trailers they don't really represent the game well anyways, and they build up this weird expectation. I kind of like that we're kind of left in the dark. So when we actually put the game in our system, and we had limited information, I think it's a good thing. I think it only builds that excitement. I don't know. I guess that's just me, but I kind of.
You just brought up. Yeah, no, I agree with you. You just brought up a really great point. So I'm going to put you all on the spot, 30 seconds. I'm going to start with Shop because I know that he's going to have something. Give everybody one article or one video, and it can even be from yourself or it can be from somebody else that they need to go out and read or watch today if they haven't seen it. Shop, we'll start with you.
Oh my goodness, that's really putting me on the spot. I would. Yeah, my man Sim Football Critic has a great interview with Rex. I would say that is a must see if I had to just do one. But you can always come out to shopmaster.tv and take a look at my articles as well.
Logan or Matt?
Next. All right. I'm going to punt because I don't really do a whole lot of news or reviews or anything on my site, at least not for me. So I'm going to punt, and I'm going to say two things. I tweeted out or retweeted a interview that MBL did with Rex last night. I don't think it was done last night, but I retweeted it last night, and it was really good, and I thought it was really honest from Rex. So I thought that was really cool. And I'm also a big fan of SGO. That's where I tend to go to first for some of my stuff as far as news and things like that. So I'm going to punt to those guys and let them do what they do because they do it really, really well.
So if you don't know, MBL is Madden Bomber League and SGO Sports Gamers Online, just in case anybody doesn't know what that is. Logan.
Yeah, and they just released some good videos recently. But I was going to say, I love Shop's Around the Horn ESPN spinoff shows. Those are really entertaining. He gets some good people on those shows. I had to get that plug in there for you, man. But listen, I listen to the Sim Standard Radio with Sim F-Ball Critic. That's a great one. Any of these interviews with Rex, just type in Rex Dixon, and there's a lot of people. PX1 actually did one. He's been on the show a couple times with us. He did an interview with Clint, I think. So. And I think he might have got Rex, but don't quote me on that. So he's done some really good interviews. So, just try to find information. Just go to YouTube and, gather the most information you want. Even if you want to watch those crappy cell phone videos, although I wouldn't recommend it. They're out there as well. Just try to get as much information as you can.
I'm going to plug Shop stuff and not to jingle Shop's bells too hard. I have a lot of respect for you, Shop, just because you do have a big voice, and even League Crawl and Logan, like all of you guys have big voices. PX1's been on here before. You all do your own thing, but you're also very willing to be a part of other things. There are a lot of guys out there doing a lot of really great stuff, but they kind of like to just do their own thing. I like guys who want to be a part of a community and something bigger than just their own thing and just their own stuff. And so Shop, that's who I'm plugging. You need to go subscribe to his channel, follow him on Twitter, go look at his latest stuff. I'm going to be doing that later this weekend. There's some videos out there I haven't got to catch up on, so that's where I'm going to send you. So for all of these guys, thank you so much for listening to us ramble for the last 45 minutes or so. I appreciate all three of your time. We'll do this again in a couple of weeks and see if there's new information for us to talk about. If not, we'll pick up this whole sim tournament conversation, sim language conversation, competitive mud, all this stuff that we like to get ourselves up in arms about. We'll pick those conversations back up and we'll see where they go. So thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys around next time. Peace.
Ever felt